Hi everyone, my name is Vishwas Pantala and I'm a summer intern at Impact Studio for local business. So today I wanted to share with all of you a financial tool that my team and I created to help restaurants determine which of the third-party delivery apps delivery plans is best for them. So we compared some of the plans offered by Doordash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats. And in this tool, you'll be able to see like the incremental revenues that come from each plan. And we also suggest how to optimize these plans to best achieve the goals of your restaurant. So if you're watching this video on our website, you can go ahead and follow along with the Excel file that's embedded within this web page. You can just click on it and it'll download a copy of the Excel file for you to follow along. If you're watching this on YouTube, then you can find a link to our webpage and to our website within the description of the video, and you can find the Excel model on our website from there. So in a previous video, I talked about the comparisons across Grubhub, Delivery, or DoorDash and Uber Eats, looking at the differences and similarities between the three apps, as well as some of their different plans. So today I'm going to touch upon how our model kind of analyzes those different plans. So to start off our model, if you take a look here, at the top, we have three different inputs in light blue. So we have total revenue and total orders as the first two, and this is over a monthly or annual period. So here we've entered $6,000. That can be for, let's say, a monthly period. And let's say we have 300 total orders. And when a restaurant owner wants to put in their information, they will look at, let's say, a month or year period, and then put in all of their revenue and all of their orders across all types of platforms. So delivery, in-restaurant service, pickup, all type of different orders so that they can figure out what the average revenue per order is. Then another input that we ask for is the delivery to in-store order margin. So I can illustrate what this is with an example. So let's say the average order total or revenue per order is $30 in your restaurant. And then let's say that same order is going to cost $30 for the customer if placed through DoorDash. Let's say DoorDash then takes $6 of that revenue as a commission, leaving the restaurant with the remaining $24. So if you take the $24 that you would have gotten from DoorDash and divide it by the $30 that you would have gotten from the same order if it was placed through your restaurant, like let's say if the customer was eating in, then you would take the 24 divided by 30, and that would give you 0.8 or 80%, which is the margin. So this margin is important because it kind of describes what portion of your revenue you'd be willing to give up to the third-party delivery apps. So you need to be able to choose a margin that covers your costs associated with the delivery app orders. So you're going to have to be able to make sure that you cover the food expenses, like for instance, ingredients and things like that, as well as labor, packaging. So when you choose your margin, make sure you choose a margin that's high enough to cover all these costs, but also low enough so that it reduces the amount of price increase that you might need to do in order to list your items on a third-party app. So once we get these three inputs, the first thing we're going to do is with the first two inputs, calculate the average revenue per order. So you can see it's 6,000 divided by 300 gives us an average revenue per order of $20. We then go to column D, where it auto-populates $20 for all the different plans. There's 9 different plans here on the left, and there's a description of the plan and the name of the plan in columns B and C. So once we get our average order per total, we then calculate the commissions for an app for each different plan based on this average order total. So in a different video I did that compared the different delivery apps, I went into what makes the commissions different for each service. But briefly to show you, for example, one here, starting with Grubhub, since it's the first one listed, if you look at the bottom, we have like the different tabs that show you the different commissions and how we're calculating them. So here's Grubhub. So some of the fees for Grubhub are the marketing fees, delivery fees, order processing fees, and we take the sum of this and we subtract them out to get the incremental revenue in column F. So again, to recap, column E is the commission that we calculate. We got all this information by talking with representatives from Doordash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats who gave us information on the pricing. So we know exactly what the commissions are. So then once we subtract them out, we get the incremental revenue for each order, which is basically the amount of money that goes directly to the restaurant after the commissions have been taken out. So the next step that we do is we calculate the goal revenue based on your average revenue per order, as well as your delivery to in-store order margin. So let's say you wanted 80% of the revenue from online orders through these delivery apps, then you put in the 0.8, of course, and 0.8 times the average revenue per order of 20 gives us 16. So based on this in-store order margin for an average revenue per order of $20, you'd expect $16 of that revenue. So then in column H, we basically compare the incremental revenue for each plan alongside the goal revenue for that average order total. So you can see in the first 3 rows, the incremental revenue does not exceed the goal revenue. So in column H, we have marked is goal revenue met as no. And for row 13 as well as row 17 and 18, we see the opposite. We see that goal revenue has surpassed, or we see that incremental revenue has surpassed goal revenue. And therefore, in columns I and J, we see that the adjusted order total is the same. So basically what the adjusted order total is doing is, let's look at the first example, row 10, where the incremental revenue is $14.09, which is less than the $16. So therefore, we would say if you wanted to make $16 on an order, then you would need your adjusted order total to be $22.65. Then when you subtract the increased commission, it's going to be greater than $5.91, since there is now more of an order total, which results in more fees. So once you take the $22.65 and you subtract the fees, you will make $16. So in order to get this order total up, we then suggest an order total price increase. And basically what this translates to for the restaurants is, if you want to get $16 per order, then you need to increase your menu prices on average by 13.27%. So you can see here, we can play around with the different numbers. So 0.8 delivery in order store margin is pretty high. We want 80% of all the incremental revenues. All right, but let's say we go with 0.5 instead. Then we see the goal revenue decrease and a lot more plans being meeting the goal revenue criteria. You can also change the revenue, the total revenue, to get different average revenues per order. So in a nutshell, our model is basically doing 2 things. It's looking at the incremental revenues for each delivery plan, and it's also suggesting if there's any price increases necessary to make sure that the plan is meeting the requirements set by your restaurant. So in addition, we've also provided a glossary in order to show you some of the descriptions for some of the terms that we've mentioned. If you ever need to reference if you ever need reference or help with descriptions of things, this is a great resource. You don't have to watch this video again. So yeah, that's pretty much an overview of our model. We hope that this was helpful, and we hope that you find you explore the rest of our website, since there's many more helpful resources for dealing with the pandemic as a restaurant. Thank you.